Europe's nations are governed today by zombie institutions, which have been clinically dead for a long time, but are unable to die. A still embryonic but already well-defined multi-level system of governance has already taken over many of the dying structure's most important political, economic, legal, and social functions. The rapidly increasing number of public and private, governmental and non-governmental actors active within this emerging system, and the aggregate quantity, velocity, and diversity of transactions taking place between them are about to attain a dynamic density of critical mass proportions. This mirrors the events which triggered the shift from the monarchist absolutist to the national representative systems of government during the Age of Enlightenment of 18th century Europe. Today, EU citizens are engaged in critical debates attempting to come to terms with the profound shifts taking place both in their national polities and in the European public sphere. We are witnessing the emergence of a revolutionary unitas multiplex system of governance, combining an ever closer union of the peoples of Europe with the utmost respect for the autonomy and diversity of all European cultures. The greatest challenge of the European project's emerging institutions of government resides therefore in its citizens' capacity to visualize, accept, and actualize its potential ability to reform Europe's networks of power away from the old and ineffective nation-state model and towards the new and dynamic emerging post-Westphalian model currently taking shape in the Euro-Atlantic area. So how can we accomplish this historic transition? Our civil society must shake off the pressures exerted on it by existing political and economic power structures and engage in directly deliberative debates, including all affected participants, who will reason together to identify available options and accept the power of the best argument. Such debates can no longer be allowed to be fragmented by national borders. They must take advantage of new tools of connectivity and communication to reach across political and cultural boundaries and encompass the entire European political sphere. The creation of a common European demos that does not subsume but actually liberates our national identities from the straitjackets of their nation states is the necessary step that we all must take in order to bring about the changes we want. This would mean nothing less than the emergence of a Europe-wide bridging social capital, Ibn Khaldun's Asabiyya, capable of uniting until now disparate national public spheres into a new, dynamic, determined, powerful constituency. This is how we will break through the current political and institutional deadlock, whose only real purpose is the maintenance of our national politicians' powers, privileges, and positions. We have seen that we can successfully usher in such radical change in accordance with our principles and values only if we follow the twin pillars of Lafayette's Gambit: peaceful and legitimate constitutional change across national borders for all individuals and societies. There is only one institution in the world today that meets these criteria and has the imminent potential to generate a performative political legitimacy powerful enough to obtain the respect and cooperation of national politicians. The European Parliament is the only transnational political institution capable of generating a civic, democratic revolution that cannot be opposed or thwarted by national politicians, whose own legitimacy rests on democratic principles without undermining their own claim to legitimate power. It thus represents the singular and critical portal, the fulcrum allowing us a peaceful and legitimate access to the future we wish to shape, by using the holy grail of any truly democratic society: the ballot box. There are 5 steps we must take together over the next decade to achieve in practice such radical change. First, we must create a transnational social activist movement espousing our values, principles, and aims that will generate grassroots debates, activities, and projects throughout Europe and North America, in order to act as the coalescing agent for both a specifically European demos and a wider transatlantic one. Second, this activist movement must develop a political wing based not on traditional political parties espousing old class ideologies of left and right, or identitarian markers of nationality and religion, but on a more open, inclusive, deliberative model focusing on legitimate solutions that actually work in practice. Third, this political wing must draft a European manifesto for the next European elections in 2019, debate and discuss it widely across all countries of the European Union, and use it as a platform for slates of candidates in each EU member states in 4 years' time. Fourth, this political movement must mean a clear majority of seats in the European Parliament, demand the right to select all EU Commission members, as well as the Commission President, the European Council President, and its Foreign Affairs representative. Fifth, this new democratically elected parliamentary government of the European Union must adopt a triple-track approach to radical institutional transformation by enacting all changes within its jurisdiction and reinforcing its institutional powers, by engaging in a long-term process of negotiation with national governments regarding a rebalancing of institutions of governance away from the nation-state and towards the multi-level unitas multiplex model of governance, and in cooperation with Canada and the United States, initiate NATO's transformation from a military to a political organization, ultimately with its own legitimately elected organs of governance. This transformation from NATO 1.0 to NATO 2.0 will be achieved with the transfer of those competencies required for it to effectively address the issues that can only be solved at a transatlantic level: defense, financial regulation, media and information, as well as environmental standards. NATO 2.0 must remain open and flexible enough to eventually become the accepted and legitimate global level of the new global structure of governance we have previously outlined. NATO 2.0, in cooperation with the emerging European and North American levels of governance, as well as with state and national institutions, will have the double task of deepening and widening its ambit. It will deepen it by first implementing at the transatlantic level the 12 covenants we have already outlined, creating a new structure of global governance, authorizing the Global Rapid Intervention Force, establishing the Global Financial Oversight Facility, enacting the Infomedia Freedom, Accessibility and Transparency Charter, elaborating the Cultural Compact, accelerating the Green Revolution, promoting the entrepreneurial society, enabling the knowledge economy, empowering creative cities, affirming cosmopolitan solidarity, defining universal civic rights and responsibilities, and implementing radical change in the age of the unthinkable. It will widen it by progressively expanding its membership to all countries that wish to join, not by excluding them until they reach unattainable standards, as did the EU with the Eastern European countries after the '89 revolutions, with disastrous results whose consequences we still see today unfold in the Ukraine, but by including them from the very beginning as non-voting members free to participate in debates and discussions until such time as they are willing to bring their own institutions in line with NATO's fundamental guiding principles of respecting and valuing the dignity of every human being. This then is the heading we must set sail towards if we want to avoid the coming catagenesis of the late 21st century. So let us start at the beginning with a transnational social activist movement that will jumpstart this project of radical transformation in the European Union in accordance with the twin pillars of Lafayette's Gambit: peaceful and legitimate radical change across borders and cultures. This movement exists already. It was founded in London, UK in 1993 and has worked ever since to develop the ideas and action programs we have discussed here. Its name is the Coalition for the Reformation of the Euro-American Order, in short, credo. It is currently located in Vancouver, Canada. Credo means I believe in Latin. We believe that we have the power to achieve in our lifetimes a sustainable, resilient world that values and respects the dignity of all human beings, wherever they may live. We are the first global activist movement whose aim is to redefine what it means to be an active citizen in the 21st century. We will do so by developing our network of activists in cities, regions and countries, first in Europe and North America, then the entire world. Our motto is democracy, prosperity and diversity for the 21st century. Our key ideals are innovation, debate, e-communication, active participation, learning, and soul force. Our 5 role models are Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Václav Havel, Nelson Mandela, and Aung San Suu Kyi. You can find more about us, our manifesto, and how you can get involved and help by accessing our website or Facebook page. You can also contact us by writing directly to me, Credo's founder and president, at my personal email. A book containing the text of this documentary, as well as selected biographical references, a preface and Credo's manifesto, is now available for purchase on Amazon. All proceeds of the book will be used to fund our ongoing activities. I hope that taking the Lafayette Gambit has spurred you on to find out more about what you can do to create a sustainable and resilient world for us and our children. I look forward to hearing from you soon.